Welcome to Developer Ramp Up, the channel dedicated to anybody who wishes to become a software developer or a better software developer. In this tutorial we'll go into a very basic C# algorithm. What we'll try to do is find the maximum value and the minimum value in a given array of numbers. To make things a little bit more interesting, we'll try to generate a new array of random numbers each time we'll run this program. But before we go into the code, I just want to say that this tutorial is dedicated mostly to those that are new to C# and new to programming in general, because this algorithm is fairly simple. However, it could be useful for newbies to test out their critical thinking and their algorithmic thinking. So that's why we'll continue and try to see how exactly we can do this very fancy in C#. Now, as I said, we would like to generate random numbers that we will then place in an array. So in order to do that, we need first an instance of this random class. So we'll declare a random class R&D equals to new random, and that's it. We have the instance of the random class. Now, each time we want to generate a random number, we'll use this instance of the random class. Now the next step, of course, would be to declare the int array, so the array of numbers, and this would be a new int array, and let's make it an array containing 10 elements, so 10 integers. Now we have the array. Of course, we have to provide a name to the array, so it would be numbers equals new int with 10 elements, so that would be it. Now the next step would be to generate numbers that we would put into this array. In order to achieve this, we'll do a very simple for loop, and we will assign to each index of the array a random number. So let's start configuring this for loop, and we'll use int I equals 0. We will start at 0. I is less than numbers dot length. And here it's important to note that arrays and also lists in C# are always 0 indexed. So this means that the first element is always at the index 0, not at the index 1. And that's why we can provide here I is less than numbers dot length instead of, for example, I is less than or equal to numbers dot length. And of course we'd have to also add the iterator, which is I++, and for each index in this array, what we would like to do is numbers and specify the index, the current index, and this would be rnd.next. Let's specify also an interval from 1 to 100, and here please note that I want my maximum value, so the maximum random number that I could get should be 100, and that's why I have to provide 101 as a maximum value. As we mentioned in another tutorial, it's important to note when we generate random numbers with this random class, when we provide an interval, so a min value and a max value for the interval, the min value or the random number that will be generated is always greater than or equal to the minimum given, but is always less than the maximum. So that's why if we provide the interval like this, we could get any number from 1, including 1, to 100, but never 101. So that's how this random class works, and this next method on the random class. Good. Now basically after we go through this for loop, what we will have is an array of numbers, and for each index of the array we have a random number. To make it look a little bit more fancy, let's try to print this array on the console. So let's do a console.write. Let's take only write, because we want to print everything on the same line right now, and would be the given array is okay. And then we have to perform another loop, but in this case we can use a for each loop, and it would be for each var number in numbers. What we want to do, of course, is print the number to the console. We will also use right, because we want this to be really on the same line. Okay, and what we'll do here is we'll print the number, but in order to make it more readable, we'd also add a space after each number. So this would print everything to the console. Now let's here also add a console write line to generate a new line, let's say. And also let's add a console read line. This would help us to keep the console window open even after the output is displayed. And for now, let's check how our program works so far. And we see that we have the output, the given array is, and then we have the list of numbers that were randomly generated. And they all are in this interval from 1 to 100. So good, the first step is done. So we have an array, we have printed this array to the console. Now what we have to do is calculate the maximum and the minimum. And to do that, I will make it a little bit more fancy and I will use a method. Let's say get max and min. And this method would take an int array. Let's call it, in this case, we give it numbers. Okay, the method is not implemented yet, so we see these red lines here. This means that something is not okay, but we will implement the method right now. So let's make it a static method. It should return. It shouldn't return anything, so we make it void. Then get max and min, and what we need to receive here is an int array. Let's call it array. Okay. The only thing that right now I see is not correct is here, of course, we have to provide only numbers because we already know that numbers is an array of numbers. And what we will have to do right now is we'll do our calculations and print to the console here in this method. So good, we have the array of numbers which is passed into to this method, and hence this array is available to us for processing. Now, in order to do that, let's first declare an int which is, let's say, int max is, and let's initialize this variable to the first element of the array. And also int min equals, and let's also define it as a first element of the array. Now, we could also instantiate these values to 0, because in this case we know exactly that the range of random numbers will always be between 1 and 100. However, let's assume that we don't know exactly what numbers we will get, and we could also get hypothetically also negative numbers. So that's why it's always useful when we try to perform this type of calculations to always declare the max and the min, or to initialize the maximum and the minimum to the first element of the array. And now what we can do is, of course, have a for each loop, and it will be for each and var number in array, and this will iterate through all the elements of the array. And what we need to do here is a simple if statement, and what we'll do here, or we will use basically two different if statements in this case. So if number is greater than max, in this case we'll have a new max, so max equals number. And the other if statement is for the minimum, of course, and here we will have if number is less than minimum. In this case what we will have is a new minimum, so min equals number. Okay, and now basically that's it. That's the entire algorithm. What we could do right now is we could try to print this information to the console. So we could have a console.writeLine, and let's do it like that. Let's use string interpolation. That's another way in which we could use this console write line. and here we can provide the max value in the array is, and then we provide, of course, max, and let's print another line, and in this case it would be s, or let's use the other way so that we can see the two different ways that we could use here. Is the mean value in the array is, and in this case what we have to do is plus min, and that should do it. Now this should be also printed on the console, and let's try to run our program to check exactly what we will see. So the window is opening, and what we have here, we have the array of numbers. We can check here the numbers. Here the max value of the array is 81, which if we look good, I think it's correct, and the minimum value is 1, which is also correct. Let's stop this program and let's try to run it again to check with a new array of random numbers, and here the highest number is 95 and the lowest number, so the mean value is 3. So our very basic sorting algorithms, sorry, this is not a sorting, that's finding a minimum and the maximum value is done, and we have seen some very interesting things, like for example how we could use string interpolation here to write something to the console, or how we could use the normal way to write to the console, or what at least I consider, let's say, not the normal but the most common way to print things to the console, and so on. We'll also have played around with random numbers, so we can say that for this tutorial we have achieved our goal. Now, of course, I have to say that this is not the only way that we could calculate a max and a min in a given array of numbers. And there are also other things that theoretically we could do. For example, check if the array that we received is null. However, in this case, we would receive, or this program will generate an exception if we would pass in an array that is null. So we would just have to catch that exception. But I think that this is not, or that this was not the scope of this tutorial, and that's why I think we should let it for now. Important is to note the way that we calculated, or the way we found the maximum value and the minimum value here right now. The simplest way to do it. And to finish it up, I just want to add that I sometimes also do interviews with those who want to get a software development job at the company I am working at right now. And there are some cases when we ask how to calculate or how to find the max value and the mean value in a given array of numbers, and there are some candidates, even with some experience with C#, that struggle to find this very simple algorithm. So even if it might seem trivial to you or very easy and say, hey, I can do this as well, or this is very easy, I would strongly encourage you to get your hands dirty, to write your own algorithm, maybe to check or to see or to try to find another way to calculate this maximum and the minimum and so on. So don't take things for granted. Don't say when something is easy, hey, this is easy, this is not important, because oftentimes the things that are very easy are also very hard to find out when you are in an interview situation. So please take a look at it if you are new to programming, and try to do it yourself. This being said, thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please hit the subscribe button, and if you know people that might find this tutorial useful, don't be shy and share this article on social media. And of course, if you want to say anything, if you want to give any feedback, if you want certain topics to be discussed in such tutorials, then also don't be shy and just drop a comment, and I would be more than glad to receive your feedback. Thank you very much for watching, and until the next time, I wish you the very best.